Welcome everyone, I'm Marty Hurt with Electro-Steam. Today we're going to teach you how to safely start up, shut down, and perform basic maintenance on your Eagle Series portable steam cleaning equipment. This video will work for all our size pieces of equipment, everywhere from 10 kilowatts all the way up to our larger 75 kilowatt unit. Today we're using our 20 kilowatt unit, but all the buttons and everything will be the same. All the bells and sirens on it will be the same. The proper PE to wear when using your Eagle Series steam equipment is we're going to have to be required to wear eye protection because the unit works much like an air gun. The unit will operate from 0 to 150 psi, so eye protection is required by OSHA. We're also going to recommend that you wear some type of hand protection. We recommend something that's flexible. These are the gloves that come with your machine. You can find them anywhere, but this will have some protection on your hands as we get into close proximity when we're handling the wands and changing out some of the brushes and pads and that type of thing that we'll put on the end of the wand to accomplish tasks. You may also want to wear ear protection. Hearing protection is not required, but it's recommended. Check with your plant personnel. You may already have ear protection policy in place at your facility. Now we have to decide where are we going to plug this machine in at. You need to plug it in where your plant personnel have identified where it has the proper three-phase power and the necessary amperage required to run your machine. If you don't have that necessary amperage, then the machine will run for just a few minutes and shut off. Check with your plant personnel or your maintenance department to make certain that you're plugging it in the proper place. But before we plug it in, we need to make certain that this main power switch is in the off position. Once that's off, now you can go plug it in where your plant personnel have identified that source. We're ready to turn the unit on. And it's as simple as this. We just go to the on position. This light right here, power on, illuminates. That means that I have electricity running into the machine now. We need to heat the unit up to make steam. So this next button here, the green button, it's identified as boiler on. Once these two lights are illuminated, we're now heating up. When this comes on, this will illuminate also. This is just a temperature display. It's the temperature of the water that's in the heating chamber or the boiler, if you will. And that temperature probably at startup is going to be somewhere 70, 80, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It's whatever the temperature of the water is going into that chamber at that point. Once this reaches our optimal temperature between 360 and 370 degrees, this temperature gauge works in unison with the pressure gauge we have right here. When that is 360 to 370, this should be 150 psi. Now we have the ability to discharge steam anywhere from 0 psi all the way up to 150 psi by turning this knob, and we have a big swing depending on the application that we're trying to clean. That's how much steam we'll discharge at the time. As we move down the display screen, we have this yellow button here. Now this yellow illuminated light button here will tell us if we're out of water. You may be cleaning and you're not paying attention and the water will run out. This automatically turns off your heating elements. You can still deliver steam because it's under pressure, but you'll notice that your pressure is going down, and when you turn around, this temperature will start to cool down a little bit. It may read around 320, 330 degrees. Not to worry. You can fill that reservoir back up with a water vessel, water hose, any number of ways, or you can hook that water hose connection to it for that 24/7. And then all you have to do is press this button one time and your temperature will quickly rise within 45 to 60 seconds, but you can start cleaning immediately and that temperature will bring you up while you're cleaning. So there's really no lost time in the job and task that you have in front of you. The other two lights here are for pressure switches. These have to be on the machine according to the code, the way we have to build these under the code that we call, or that is identified as the ASME code for compliance for what this machine is built under. Now you have an hour counter over here, and this just simply tells you how many hours the machine is running. This is going to be real important when you look at this because that's going to identify where we're going to perform our maintenance intervals. There's not a whole lot of maintenance that's required for this machine, but those types of maintenance procedures are real important for this machine to last year after year after year without any issues. All right, we're ready to go with all the electricity and PPE. Now we have to connect our hose to the machine. No hose, we can't clean with it. So we've got all this going on, and we're going to show you how this connection takes place. Steam goes through here. We're using 3 of these little pins, but we have a nice sturdy connection, and it comes out of the top of the machine, so it's away from anything coming down aisleways and that type of thing. You notice there's an antenna here. It's attached to protect the integrity of this heat shield and the hose not being pulled away from maybe employees that are pulling the hose towards them and putting stress on this. So it's just a stress relief. Also, it's a great place to hang your gun when you're not using it. Maybe you're on break or you've got a little interval where you're doing something else during the cleaning process. This is where it should be always, not dropped on the floor. Multiple drops, you may damage the gun. Once again, no hose, no cleaning with the machine. We want to protect the integrity of these 2 pieces. Your Eagle Series steam equipment will come with a number of different wands as a standard package. This is what you'll see with our standard package, and we'll use the 16-inch curved wand right now to teach you how these wands attach to the gun. It's just really a very simple process. We've got just a threaded piece on there, and it goes in to the gun, and it just simply screws on, just like that. The thing that I want you to remember, and this is very, very, very important, we do not want to over tighten that. So here's what happens. As soon as it gets snug, that's it. Don't squeeze, don't over tighten. It'll crush the O-rings and you'll get some steam leaking right here. The white button right here, when I press this on, will communicate to the gun, and that opens a solenoid. When you first start up, there's air in the line, or possibly there was steam left from the prior cleaning experience, and that is condensated and turned to water. So I'm just going to discharge it. We're going to open up the valve all the way so we have all that 150 psi, and we're going to bleed the system at our initial startup. So the reason we wear gloves for our hand protection is because parts of this wand and where we're going to have incidental contact could potentially burn you. This right here is cool to touch, about room temperature, just like the other parts of the gun where the trigger is. Very comfortable to use. This right here, this little rubber coating around the stainless wand, it gets hot. Ouch, I don't like that. Ouch, I don't like that. I can have incidental contact without burning myself, but we don't want to camp out on there. This particular point right up here, the stainless tip, will heat up to 200 to 230 degrees in a fraction of a second with the dry vapor steam. That is ouch, ouch, ouch. So what we do is we wear the hand protection during the cleaning process, and now I have the opportunity, I can touch every part of this without any incident or occurrence to burn my hand, making for just a real safe cleaning experience, and give me the opportunity to place brushes and other things on the tip of the wand just like this. And if you notice when I did that, how does that go on there? It doesn't screw on, it doesn't snap on, it's just a pressure fit. That's it. And now I have a brush on here that could really accelerate the cleaning process, making the experience more effective and more efficient. Now it's time to shut the system down and prepare it for the next time we're going to use it. First thing that we want to do is let's go ahead and turn off that boiler. That disengages the power. Now the heating elements are turned off inside the boiler. It'll begin to cool down. We don't need the hose anymore. Let's go ahead and disengage that. Now that's turned off. The next thing that we want to do prior to unplugging the piece of equipment, never unplug the equipment without the main power switch being off. Remember, this is three-phase power. We've got a lot of electricity over there. We don't want to power or unpower it with the electricity on, starting up and shutting down. Very important. We're going to store the hose, coil it up, get it off the floor. This is just a great place to put it and prepare it for the next use. It'll protect the integrity of the hose and keep things off the floor until we use it again. Now it's time to safely shut your machine down and store it for the next time that you're scheduled to use it. We have a situation where there are heating elements inside the boiler where we put the water and it heated up. These are just heaters in there. We need to drain this system each and every day. So important, because calcium, lime, and rust will continue to attach to these heating elements, and over time your machine won't run as optimally as it does when it's brand new. The way we would correct that is we pull these heating elements out and then we descale them. But what we want to do is minimize that opportunity during storage so water's not sitting in there and calcium, lime, and rust continue to attach. To do that, we need to identify a place in your facility where we're going to move this machine, and it can take that 3 gallons of water that's in that boiler, that's super hot by the way, and we want to drain it when it's under a little bit of pressure. It can cool down a little bit, but we want to drain it under pressure to force out all that calcium, lime, and rust. All the minerals are in there to expel it. There's a valve on the back of the machine that simply opens up, the drain goes straight down. Remember, super hot water? When you open that, it will sound like a jet taking off. Don't worry about it, it's just noise. The steam will come down. Don't kneel down on the floor. We don't want your knees down in there. There's no point in it. The valve is at the top of the machine. And you know it's empty, you know it's drained when it stops making noise. Don't forget to close the valve, because tomorrow or the next time you use the machine, when you start to pump water back in there, it may leak out on the floor. No worry, just close it at that point too. For additional maintenance items, refer to the user manual that came with the machine or go to our website and source it there. I'd like to thank you for joining me with this training session, and I truly hope that you have years and years of just great cleaning with your Eagle Series steam equipment.